Another person?
Talent baiwa ne wanda Allah ya ma mutum.
Oh. See. Baiwa. Okay.
Well, for me, based on my understanding, talent is a unique skills or potentialities given by a human being by Almighty God in terms of promoting, developing, creating anything that will be benefit to human being.
Okay, we have all said well. Okay, I'll let you follow me.
Talent, to my understanding, is a special skill which attracted the attention of many.
Social skills which attract the attention. Okay. Football talent. What do scouts look for when they come to you as a coach? First and foremost, he said something here very important, but I didn't know if you take note of that. First and foremost, as a football coach or as a team manager, one of the first things you must know how to do is to set targets. What is the target of your club? What do you want to do? Do you want to develop players? Do you want to sell players? Do you want to play in a league? Recently, a National League club in England has just built a stadium of £30 million, and they are not even playing in the EPL. And they said they are not even interested in playing in the EPL because it is not their target. Gentlemen, in your club, can you tell me your target? Tell me the target in your club. What is the target of your club? Yes. Make target. Make goal. Class captain, the man is answering call in the hall. That's it. Spot for change. That is the change he's giving us. Guru Canadian balls. Okay, fine. Use the microphone properly. We can. Put it on. It's not on. Put it on.
My target as my team is playing national amateur division 1. My first target is to get promotion to Pro League. The secondly is to, as a business oriented team, to get my players higher their various levels.
Okay, let's use these two targets as experiment now, so that we save us time. He said his plan is to groom players that will go and play abroad. His own target is to play amateur and also do what? And to win the league and also get players abroad. How do you see the two objectives?
The one that want to promote the leadership to sponsor the company. Better than one for promotion.
Do you agree with him?
Yes, I agree.
Do you agree with him?
Yes, I agree.
Okay, those of you that agree with him, raise your hand. Okay, right, fine. So we have to experiment here. One is saying, I want to develop players to go abroad. One is saying, I want to win the league and also get my players to do what? To go abroad. They are all right.
They are all right.
Everybody with his own target. All of you, how would I divide my class again? You were all here when Asewinga decided to forget about the league at George Emirates Stadium. Asewinga had two targets. One, to always keep Arsenal within the first four, to make sure they qualify for Europe, and also build them a new stadium, a gigantic stadium in England. That was his target, isn't it? Why Sir Alex Ferguson was doing what?
Trophies.
So you set your target. I want to leave here now. You need to understand that the first thing, if you want to do well, is you must have a target. Because it is that target that will determine how you operate. If you don't have a target, you will not know how to operate. That is very important. Now, talking about talent identification, there are some things, some qualities, or let me put it this way. If you are playing in an elite league, I don't know if you know what is called elite league, like Kano Pillars. They are playing at the highest level. The target is always what? Is different. When you are playing at the youth level, I don't know if you know what is the youth level. The youth level, what age is the youth level, coaches? Eh?
9 to 16 or 17.
So which one do I take?
Under
16
to 20.
16 to
20.
is youth level.
Under 17. 16 to 22. 12. 16 to 22.
Okay. Gentlemen, in classification of football, we have the age of 9 to 11. 9 to 11, kindergarten football, more or less. I'll put it that way. Then 11 to 13 is the U13. Then 14 to 16, thereabout, gives you the youth football age. Then by the time you get 18, 17, you are expected to be a semi-professional. That is normally the way it should be. I don't want to talk about the Nigerian factor, but that is the arrangement. Then now, if you are setting your target as a club, I see what most of you do. That's why you see, they say coaches and managers, you are the problem of Nigerian football. You don't even, if you have a target, you'll be able to structure your club the way I put it now. It's either you are playing purely mature players who are from the semi-professional stages, or you are playing your players to be under 16. First and foremost, how do you structure it? Most of you have clubs. You don't even have the records of your players. Am I saying the truth? Sure. Most of you don't even have their records. So what are you doing? You are waiting for the day they will sign Kano Pillars. You come and say it's my player. But let me ask you one very serious question. This is my player. He plays for Sabongeri FC. He now signed Kano Pillars. After signing for Kano Pillars, he played one season and came back to my club, Sabongeri FC. Then from Sabongeri FC, he now went to Manchester United. Who owns the player?
Kano Pillars.
Who owns the player?
Again, sir.
Again?
Yes, sir.
This is my player from Sabongeri FC. I registered him. I trained him. Kano Pillars now came and said they want him. I now gave him to Kano Pillars. He now went to Kano Pillars and played one season. And now came back to Sabongeri FC. And now from Sabongeri FC, I make my way, I get him to Manchester United or Chelsea. Who is the owner of this place? Who is the legendary owner of the player?
No, but the terms need to be defined.
Okay, I will not talk about that. I will not. Gentlemen, you know what I'm trying to say now here is let's not digress. It is very important as a club, once you set your target, you have to structure your club. You have your funds, it's an academy, especially those of you that are running non-league clubs. This is very important. Even if you are running league clubs, it is very important. Have a record for your players. Get a registration form. Any player that comes to your team, register him. But before you register him, make proper findings. And that's why you see, for those of us as scouts, I don't know how agents operate. We ask previous club and present club. We ask you. So if you are running your club, you are a scout, you are an agent, you are a manager, or whatever, you need to document any player that comes across you. Gentlemen, I'm going to take you, especially the coaches and the agents that are here, I'm going to tell you basic things that scouts look for in a player. There are 4 qualities in every player. In every football player, there are 4 qualities. The number 1 quality is if physiology of that player. I asked you initially what is talent. Some of you said God gifted ability and skills. You are all right. But in football, it takes two things: the natural gift and the what? And the work. Number one gift is the gift of nature. I will explain this to you. We call it physiology. The physiology of the player. For example, if I'm looking for a central defender, what do I look out for?
Size.
Paul. Isn't it? Is it not the gift of nature? Did he make himself? Can you adjust the height? If I'm looking for a striker, what do I look for? Then if I'm looking for a very crafty midfielder, what do I look for? Very small. Very small. Very small. They can be very crafty. And you know why? Who can tell me why? You have not answered my question. Can you tell me why? The law of gravity is also a natural gift. They are closer to the ground.
Very close. Who is closer to the ground?
The shorter people.
Like you?
Yes. They are closer to the ground. So the law, we call it the law of gravity. The law of gravity is in their favor. That's why you see they can easily manipulate. You see people like Maradona, you see Pelé, not too tall. You see Messi. So one is the scouts will always look at physiology. So coaches take notes. The mistake you make is you say you want to adopt. So you say, this boy is not tall but he's talented, and you are playing him from the central midfield and central defense. When a scout comes, first thing I look out for, maybe I came as a scout, maybe they said I should go and look for a central defender. Immediately I come to your field and I look at the player playing from the central defense. The first thing I'm going to look for is the height. Once he doesn't have that height, any other thing you are telling me is what? Is zero. So you have to take note of this. When you are playing players, or you are selecting your players, or you are recruiting your players, their physiology is number one. Do you do this in your teams?
At times.
At times. Thank you. That's the answer. Don't tell me yes. I know all of you. At times. You try to improvise. Let me tell you, even when you talk of height, there are different kinds of height. I will not take every one for you, but I'll just give you the simple illustration. We have the endomorph, the metamorph types of height. You see some people, they have height, but their waist is how?
Flat.
Flat. So, and some of their waist is what? Oh, you don't take note of these things?
No.
So what are you doing in football?
Oh.
Oh no, you are not in business. People are not in business. You don't know these things. Some of them, their limbs, their legs, here is what?
Tiny.
It's tiny.
Yes.
Very good, tiny. Some of them, the legs is what? So which one is better? Okay, let me tell you. You didn't answer my question. The answer to the question is this. When you are looking at those things, it depends on age. There are players that when they are very young, if you can watch out very, you find out they are very thin. But you know that when they grow, it will do what? It will develop. Am I right? There are some players you see they're very thin, but with 2-3 years in training, you see that they do what? So that is why for us in football, talent is one, the natural gift. Then the training determines the body shape. So please, physiology, very, very important. 2. Sir.
Please, you are talking physiology of the person.
Yes, sir.
This word seems to be like a medical term.
Oh.
Because most of the people you see, they don't know for physiology. So why don't you put it is the characteral quality of the player or of a person? Structural quality. Yes, this is so simple and common all of us, so that You are talking about physiology. It contains a lot of things. You understand me? So this is only.
Okay, but I will not agree with you. You know why I will not agree with you? I will not agree with you, sir. Why I will not agree with you? Because if you go for your course, the woman will not tell you structural. The woman will tell you physio. But you are expected to do what? To know it.
So in another word.
Yes, that one is. But like those of you that went to NIS, how many of us went to NIS? Yeah. Nobody. Coaching course? NIS? Did you do physiology and anatomy as your coaching course? You must do it. You must do it. I did it. When I went to NIS, it's a mandatory course. It's been taken by a professor. You must know physiology, you must know anatomy as a coach. You must know how the body system works. You must. That is why in Europe now, coaching is called coaching science. It's a scientific course. Coaching has gone scientific. Went to them. So, I will leave physiology there. And I've told you, you learn how to watch out for, depending the age, the players you are dealing with. You are dealing with developed players already. You know, but if you're also dealing for players that are yet to grow, you watch out and say, okay, this one, his leg is thin, but with time, he will grow. This one is thin, but with time, he will grow. It happens like that. That depends. So now, the second thing is, after the physiology, the psychology. The behavior of a player is the next thing they start to look for. Does he have the right mentality? I will tell you one thing. You see, I'm just giving you this thing half and half so that we can be talking. A scout will come for a screening. And you see the player with the ball that dribbles most, especially when you are dealing with youth age players. When a scout comes to look for young players, you find out that the player that dribbles most, that you think is good, the scout will not go for him. Why? Why do you think so? Eh? I said the creative player. The scout did not go for the creative player. Are you with me? The player you see now, you said that player is creative, but the scout now said, no, I don't want him. Especially when you, mark my word though, I said when you are selecting a young player, and even adult player, and that player that dribbles very well, does everything very well, the scout say, no, I don't want him. Why? Eh? Okay, coach.
Maybe he has problem with his mental strength. Maybe he lack concentration.
Concentration.
Concentration on the ball.
Okay.
He's selfish.
He's selfish.
Maybe he doesn't release the ball.
And that's the selfish. That is it. He's selfish. I don't have anything to do with him. I have no business with him. If you like, let him dribble the ball. He's a selfish person. I have no business with him. He can't be a good player. That's the news. So that's why you say a scout will come. You look for that player who is ready to sacrifice for others.
Coordinating with
His teammates, he can coordinate. It's one of the qualities of a very good player. So the scout will rather go for him. So with mentality, the right mentality has to be there too. What is the right mentality? Can somebody tell us? What is the right mentality? He talked about it in his presentation. He touched it. The right mentality. What is it? Okay, the right mentality of a player is for a player to anticipate. One of the qualities, the mental capacity of a player is that player that can anticipate. Who is alert. He knows what next will happen. Quickly, he knows. He knows that yes, this guy is coming. He's going to move this way. He creates, move to space. He knows, he anticipates what next. Any player that does not have that quality cannot make it. So you must train your players to have that strong mentality. It is for you to train them. To teach them how to anticipate. Then coupled with that natural talent.
For interjecting. Which exercise can you give a player to improve him on this one? Just give me one, please, if anybody have. Because when we say you teach him, it is through drillings and exercise that you can teach him. So can anybody have one idea? Yes, coach. One name. Particular exercise. Can anybody have some one particular exercise that you can improve? Yes, one.
Ball juggling.
Ball juggling. It creates one manipulating of ball. Amma idan aka creating mentality dinsa da kalmar da ya faɗa, is it kalmar da ta faɗa about anticipation. You want to improve his anticipation. So just for time constraint, let me give you one. Coach, stand up. Let's assume I have a ball here. Players here. You want to train him. You want to improve his anticipation. I will throw you ball, but do what I say. I gani ka gaya masa cewa zan bullo ma bal, amma you should do what I say, not what you want. You never think of what I will say. And look at the time limit between throwing the ball and doing his act. It's too short. I will throw the ball for you. Just do what I said, not what you want to do. That you will improve his anticipation. As soon as you release the ball, you head the ball, you see him controlling the ball. Just like that. Instead you say head. Instead of him to head, you just that is the head. You pick another and say,
And you do understand the exercise?
give me back the ball to left. You imagine it.
Practical aspect.
So when controlling, that means he's missing it. But as soon as if you throw him the ball and say head, you head. You throw the ball, just control each other. That means anticipating yourself is improving. But initially you confuse him. As soon as you throw the ball to him, you become confused. So head, come say the just
Well explanatory. Well
no.
explanatory.
Just do what I ask you to do. Just listen to me and react very quickly. Within short seconds, you can do it. So gradually you will see it.
Thank you, sir.
So you can see anticipation is very important. You get a player to have that mental psychology, that strength. It helps. This is what we look for as scouts. I will move to another one. Social aspect of a player. One, any player you are scouting as an agent or as a coach, any player you are dealing with, you need to know his family background. It's very important. Most of you don't know the background of your family. Is he from a broken home? For example, a player from a broken home, where the father and the mother have separated, he has a kind of mentality. Even if he's a professional player, we used to think to know. You see, when Balatoli was misbehaving, most of us knew where he was misbehaving. And that's why most of the coaches were able to manage him, because they know his family history. They expect him to behave like that. So as an agent or as a scout or as a coach, you need to know the background of any player you are dealing with, the kind of family he's coming from, the kind of environment where he is going from, is coming from. This helps you a lot to be able to handle that player and manage him very well. I don't know if I am complicating this. Very, very important. And then within the social aspect of that player, you begin to find out also how he relates, how these players relate to themselves. There are players that are introverts. There are some of them that are extroverts. Can a good goalkeeper be a talkative?
Yes, of course.
Eh?
Yes.
Do you watch out for these things when you select your goalkeeper?
Yes.
You look for a goalkeeper that is a talkative.
Yes.
Who can talk?
Yes.
Okay. Is a striker expected to be a talkative?
No.
Then why don't you apply these things? I don't see them in your team. Sometimes I see your strikers fighting, shouting, quiet.
Still searching for them.
I see it. And then when I come to your field, I watch you play. After I went to one competition last 2 weeks at Hunduawa, they invited me for the finals. After watching, I was leaving, the organizer said to me, "Sir," I said, "I'm sorry, I didn't see anyone one big player. I'm sorry." They were shocked. And that was the truth. I didn't see any big player. Go there, come. Do you know how much it costs to discover Messi? Yeah? Is he no more than an oil well? Is Messi not more than an oil well? Do you know how much it costs to dig an oil well? That's how you look at it. So, do you know what it costs to take a player abroad, one player abroad? The day you succeed in taking one player successfully abroad, you are done with this Nigerian hardship. Quality player. So let's not digress. Look at the sociology of that player, how he relates with other players, how they relate. There's the one that talks, there's the one that doesn't like talking. It's very calm. Take note of these things. It matters. And especially at the professional level, there are much situations where you need players that are very calm. Isn't it? And there are much situations where you need to bring one or two players that are very aggressive. So, for us as scouts, when we go out there at times to look for these players, depending on the kind of players we're looking for, we look for some of these general qualities before the individual qualities. Then lastly, we talk about tactics. Even from a very young age, not skills. Let's not mistake skills for tactics. What is skills? Skills are those things we talk about. Passing, dribbling, heading, shooting, ball control. These are skills. Goal scoring is not skills. Shooting is skills. Then we talk about tactics, movement. Swabbing. This player move this way, this one move this way, this one move this way. That is tactics, not interception. So as a coach, you understand.